Okay, just wanted to make a quick little video to show a couple of alternate shopping cart views and a little bit about how they work. First of all, we're on one client's website. They've done a pretty good job of this shopping cart in that they've sized their pictures appropriately, done everything quite professionally looking, so you can actually get a good idea of how it can look when it's done properly. This over here is where you actually have the ability to sell things. Well, in their case, you can pick it up for one price versus order it and have it delivered for another price. You could also have a bottle of one, or a case of 6 or a case of 12 all happening as alternate item codes, so you don't have to load your shopping cart up with 1,000,000 items when really you're just talking about variations of the same item. So any item that you see in the shopping cart, you have the ability to go and look at the brochure page, which would be done by clicking on this link, and now you come to the full brochure page. You can write whatever you want there, have as much detail as you want there, and still have the add to cart button. So if we decided to add to cart, we could add this, and we've now added this, plus there was something already in the cart. If I go back to product order, you can see I also have the ability to get to that same brochure page by clicking on the more information page. So that's one look. Let's take a look at another client. This client hasn't done as good a job with their images. It's not horrible, but you can see it just doesn't quite look as polished as the other one. Don't have quite as much information about each of the products. Just not quite as pretty. So we can take a look. In this case, they've put all their products into one category, so there isn't a bunch of categories. But I just wanted to show you a little bit of a different way of looking at things. So again, this is from a customer point of view. So I'll show you a tiled view now. So the tiled jewelry view that we call it actually gives you the ability to have your categories, start with your categories with nice pictures for each category. Then you actually go into the category before you see the items, and they're in a tiled view versus a list view. So not quite as much information, really good for cosmetics and that kind of stuff. Supplements also works pretty good with this view. So same thing, you would just add the cart. You can add one, you can add as many you want to the cart. So this is an alternate or a tiled view. In this case, this is a Japanese system that's actually multilingual and multi-currency, so quite a full-on development. They have about 1,000,000 members and 100,000 active. Here's actually the list view. So here's where you can actually have just for downloadables or informational type products, you can just have your lists, and you can have your categories and your subcategories and your subcategories, and then you could pick the item, which will then take you to the full description page. So again, they haven't done a whole lot with this particular, filling all the information with lots of nice and pretty pictures, but you can see that basically you have the ability to just work from a big list. So they have some categories with 300 items in them. So you can also backtrack to each category and subcategory through the breadcrumbs, and then you can actually pick from each of the categories. So the last thing I want to show you just briefly is the difference of a sign up. So if we actually do a sign up, things operate a little bit differently versus a shopping cart order. In this case, this client has chosen to get rid of the policies and procedures from here and put them through to the next page. Not as good legally as the standard version would do it, but a customization they decided they wanted to do. So in the case of a sign up, we ask for all the personal information first before we actually take them to have them select their products. Where in a retail product order, you'd actually collect what they want before you'd start asking for all their personal details. It's just a little bit different psychology. So the system operates different ways depending what you're trying to do. So now in this case, they're using what's called our showcase function. So you can actually take certain items and showcase them. So in their case, they've showcased a bunch of their packages. So rather than having a person jump right into the shopping cart where there's lots and lots of items, they've decided to actually have them just come into the showcase item. And in their case, they don't even let the person go into the shopping cart because they have some special functions. Normally, there's a link right up here that says, click here to go into the regular shopping cart. So the member simply picks one of these items, hits continue, and then actually this particular system has some really interesting customizations where because I picked the Business Builder Fast Start pack of 10 items, I can now go in to fulfill that package of 10 items. So again, this is some pretty advanced things that they've done and customized for the system so that they can actually sell packs of their items. And you actually have to pick 10, and if you don't pick enough, it won't go through. So that's just one alternate way of signing up that I wanted to show you really briefly.